Welcome to Speaking English is Simple, a Korean scientist's inspiring journey. Imagine holding a lifetime of groundbreaking experiments in your hands, but struggling to share them with the world because of a language barrier. This is the story of Dr. Eun-ji Kim, a 65-year-old Korean scientist who conquered her fear of English after 50 years and transformed her life, career, and relationships. Her journey proves that speaking English is simpler than you think if you have the right mindset and tools. Chapter 1. The Young Scientist Who Couldn't Speak English. Dr. Eun-ji Kim was a dreamer. From a young age, she loved science, often spending hours observing the natural world, jotting notes, and asking questions. Her curious mind was unstoppable, but there was one barrier that would haunt her for decades: the English language. Growing up in rural Korea, resources to learn English were scarce. Her family, though supportive, couldn't afford extra lessons, and her school's English curriculum barely scratched the surface. As she advanced in her studies, Eun-ji excelled in every area of science. Her experiments were innovative, her theories groundbreaking. But every time an opportunity arose to present her work internationally, she hesitated. Conferences, journals, and collaborations required English proficiency, and she simply didn't have it. Over time, this inability to communicate her ideas on a global stage became a weight on her shoulders. Her peers encouraged her, saying, "Your work speaks for itself," but she knew better. Science wasn't just about discoveries. It was about sharing them. Without English, she felt like a bird with clipped wings. She watched as others, with less innovative ideas but fluent English, received recognition she could only dream of. The weight of unspoken ideas can crush a spirit. Language is the bridge between dreams and reality. Eun-ji often spent nights awake, wondering what her life could be if she could speak English. It wasn't just about professional success, it was about connection. When international researchers visited her lab, she stood on the sidelines, unable to participate in the conversations. The laughter, the exchange of ideas, the camaraderie. It all seemed like a world she wasn't part of. She remembered one moment vividly. At the age of 30, she developed a formula that could reduce greenhouse gas emissions from industrial plants. It was revolutionary and could have made a significant global impact. Yet, when a prestigious conference in Europe invited her to present, she declined. "I can't do it," she told herself. The thought of standing in front of an audience and stumbling over her English was unbearable. The project was later credited to someone else who adapted her ideas. Missed opportunities are the loudest echoes of regret. A silent voice cannot change the world. But Eun-ji's story wasn't just about lost opportunities. It was also about resilience. Even in her silence, she refused to give up her love for science. She continued to pour herself into her work, publishing in Korean journals and teaching young students in her community. She hoped that one day someone else would carry her legacy forward. Yet, deep in her heart, she longed for more. By her 40s, Eunji began to notice a change in herself. Her frustration with English transformed into determination. She realized that while she couldn't go back and seize the opportunities she had missed, she could create new ones. "It's never too late," she whispered to herself one night, staring at a blank notebook. For the first time in decades, she dared to believe that her story wasn't over. It's never too late to start a new chapter. Every step forward is a victory over fear. This chapter of Dr. Eunji's life captures the pain and longing of unrealized potential, but also the seeds of hope that would later blossom into triumph. Her journey is a testament to the idea that even when we feel stuck, there's always a way forward. The young scientist who couldn't speak English was about to begin a new journey, one that would prove to the world and to herself that speaking English, like any skill, was a mountain she could climb, step by step. The first step is believing you can. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Courage starts when fear begins to fade. This poignant chapter of Eunji's life is a reminder to us all. The language barriers we face are not permanent walls. They are challenges waiting to be overcome. And with persistence, even the quietest voices can one day be heard loud and clear. Chapter 2. The Turning Point at Age 50. At 50 years old, Dr. Eunji Kim stood at a crossroads. Decades of regret over missed opportunities weighed heavily on her heart. But life had also given her something precious: perspective. She realized that she wasn't alone in her struggles. Many of her peers and even younger colleagues faced the same barrier: English. But unlike them, she decided she wouldn't let it define her any longer. One rainy afternoon, while cleaning her small home library, Eunji found a worn-out book titled Step-by-Step Reader. It was a beginner's guide to learning English, with simple sentences, colorful illustrations, and exercises that felt approachable. She laughed at first. "This is a book for children," she thought. But something about its simplicity gave her comfort. She sat down at her desk, opened the first page, and began to read aloud. The words felt foreign on her tongue, but they sparked something she hadn't felt in years: hope. Small steps create the biggest changes in life. It's never too late to start from scratch. Eunji decided to dedicate just 15 minutes every evening to practicing English. With her busy schedule, balancing work, caring for her husband, and spending time with her grandchildren, this felt like a manageable goal. She read the same sentences repeatedly, sometimes whispering them to herself while washing dishes or walking to the market. Her grandchildren giggled as she practiced basic greetings with them, but their laughter only motivated her more. Consistency is more powerful than perfection. A little progress each day adds up. As days turned into weeks, something extraordinary happened. Those 15 minutes became her favorite part of the day. It was her time, a moment of quiet determination and self-love. She stopped worrying about her pronunciation being perfect and instead focused on enjoying the process. One evening, her husband, a quiet and supportive man, noticed her efforts. "You're speaking English now," he said with a warm smile. Those simple words filled her heart with pride. For the first time, she began to believe in herself. Support from loved ones makes every journey easier. Encouragement can light the way to success. Eunji also discovered creative ways to integrate English into her daily life. She labeled items around the house with sticky notes in English: refrigerator, window, door, transforming her home into a learning environment. She found free English podcasts online and listened to them while cooking. The internet became her gateway to free resources, including pronunciation guides and beginner-friendly YouTube videos. Her grandchildren introduced her to language apps, where she competed with them on vocabulary quizzes. "Grandma's learning faster than us," they joked. But in truth, Eunji's motivation came from a deeper place, a desire to finally break the chains that had held her back for so long. Learning can be part of everyday life. Even 15 minutes can transform your entire future. The turning point truly came when Eunji started to dream in English. One night, she dreamed she was at an international conference, confidently presenting her research to a captivated audience. The applause echoed in her mind when she woke up. For the first time in years, she didn't feel like a bystander in her own life. She felt empowered. Your dreams can guide you toward your goals. Visualizing success is the first step to achieving it. At 50, Eunji wasn't just learning a language. She was rediscovering herself. Each word she learned, each sentence she spoke, was a step toward reclaiming the opportunities she thought she'd lost forever. Her journey was far from over, but the spark had been lit, and nothing could extinguish it now. Your age doesn't define your potential. Hope is the fuel for life's greatest transformations. Dr. Eunji's story reminds us that the turning point in life can come at any age. Sometimes, all it takes is a small act of courage, a decision to open a book, to take a step, and to believe in yourself again. Chapter 3: Overcoming Barriers with Free Tools. Dr. Eunji Kim's journey to mastering English didn't require expensive courses, private tutors, or high-tech gadgets. Instead, it was built on something far more powerful: resourcefulness. With limited financial means, but an unshakable determination, she turned to free tools and resources that transformed her learning experience. One of the first steps Eunji took was exploring the internet. Her grandchildren showed her how to access free apps and websites designed for language learners. Apps like Duolingo became her go-to companions, offering interactive lessons she could practice anytime. The gamified structure made learning fun, and she celebrated every achievement, no matter how small. Even a single word learned today is progress, she told herself. Free tools can open doors to endless opportunities. Every resource is valuable when paired with determination. Eunji also discovered the magic of YouTube. Channels dedicated to teaching English for beginners became her virtual classroom. She found videos with subtitles, practicing by repeating sentences aloud, mimicking accents, and even pausing to write down new words. She learned phrases she could use in daily life, such as ordering food, greeting someone, or introducing herself. The best part? It didn't cost her a single penny. Podcasts were another breakthrough for Eunji. She downloaded free English podcasts and listened while cooking, cleaning, or walking in her neighborhood. At first, the pace of native speakers felt overwhelming, but she reminded herself that understanding would come with time. Slowly but surely, she began picking out words, then sentences, and finally the meaning behind entire conversations. Learning happens when you make it part of life. Your smartphone can be your most powerful teacher. To improve her vocabulary, Eunji used flashcard apps, which her grandchildren installed for her. These apps quizzed her on common words and phrases, and she loved the feeling of accomplishment when she got answers right. She even created her own physical flashcards, keeping them on her desk as a reminder to practice daily. One of the simplest yet most effective tools she used was her journal. Every day, Eunji wrote one sentence in English. At first, they were basic. I like tea. The sky is blue. But as time went on, her sentences grew more complex. Writing became a habit that not only improved her vocabulary and grammar, but also gave her a sense of pride. Small, consistent habits lead to extraordinary transformations. Writing is a powerful tool for language mastery. When it came to pronunciation, Eunji found a free online tool that allowed her to type a word and hear it pronounced by native speakers. She practiced saying these words repeatedly, recording her voice on her phone to compare her pronunciation with the examples. At first, she felt embarrassed listening to herself, but over time, she noticed her improvements. Every mistake is a step closer to fluency, she reminded herself. Beyond technology, Eunji also turned to her surroundings for help. She labeled household items with sticky notes in English. Her refrigerator, mirror, and even her rice cooker were covered in brightly colored labels. Every time she walked through her home, she was reminded of new words. The world around you can be your teacher. Mistakes are proof that you're making progress. One of Eunji's favorite tools was free community language exchange programs. Through online forums, she connected with English learners who wanted to practice Korean. They helped each other improve through video calls and messages, forming friendships that spanned continents. These connections gave Eunji something priceless: confidence. For the first time, she felt comfortable speaking English with others, knowing they were on the same journey. The encouragement she received from her language partners motivated her to keep going, even on tough days. Friendships can be built across languages and borders. Confidence grows with every conversation, no matter how simple. By using free tools, Eunji not only overcame the financial barrier to learning English, but also discovered a deep sense of independence. She proved that anyone, regardless of their circumstances, can learn a new language with determination and creativity. Her journey teaches us that the best resources are often the ones we already have access to. You don't need money to achieve your dreams. The best tools are those that fit your life. Dr. Unji's story reminds us that even in a world full of obstacles, there are always solutions waiting to be discovered. Her resourcefulness and resilience are proof that learning English, or achieving any goal, is possible if you're willing to explore and embrace what's available to you. Chapter 4. Learning Through Life's Challenges. Life isn't perfect, and neither was Dr. Unji Kim's journey to learning English. Her days were filled with responsibilities, managing a household, caring for her aging husband, supporting her children, and delighting in the chaos her grandchildren brought. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of daily life, she found moments to nurture her dream. She didn't wait for the right time, she created it. Unji's mornings started early. While brewing tea, she practiced simple greetings aloud. "Good morning, how are you?" she repeated to herself. Her grandchildren, giggling at her accent, often joined in, transforming a learning moment into a bonding experience. Even during the busiest of days, she found ways to integrate English into her routine. There's no perfect time, just the time you make. Busy lives don't block dreams, they shape them. One evening, after a long day of cooking and cleaning, Unji sat down with her English notebook. Exhausted but determined, she wrote a single sentence: "I am tired, but I will not give up." Those words, though simple, became her mantra. Learning English wasn't just about grammar or vocabulary. It was about resilience. Her family noticed her dedication. Her husband, a man of few words, would sit beside her during her practice sessions. Though he didn't understand the words she was learning, he supported her by listening and occasionally cheering her on with a soft fighting. Their quiet moments together, marked by shared tea and mutual encouragement, became a source of strength for Unji. Every small effort builds a foundation for success. Support from loved ones makes every step worthwhile. Unji's financial challenges also shaped her learning journey. Without the means to afford formal classes, she relied on free resources and creative solutions. When her grandchildren received new toys or gadgets, she kept the instruction manuals and used them as English reading material. Every word matters, she told herself, poring over the simplest sentences to uncover new phrases. Her persistence was tested during difficult times. One year, her family faced a financial crisis, and her learning materials were nearly forgotten. But Unji refused to let adversity win. "Life will always have challenges," she said, "but I can always find 10 minutes for myself." Whether it was repeating vocabulary while folding laundry or practicing pronunciation while walking to the market, she found strength in small moments. Challenges test us, but they also transform us. Adversity builds strength, focus, and determination. One of Unji's greatest challenges was overcoming self-doubt. Many nights, she questioned her abilities. "Am I too old for this?" she wondered. But when her youngest grandchild handed her a sticky note with "You can do it, Grandma," scribbled in crayons, she realized that her journey wasn't just about herself. She was setting an example for her family, proving that age and circumstances were no match for determination. Her persistence inspired those around her. Her children began to help her with pronunciation. Her grandchildren quizzed her on vocabulary words. Even her neighbors noticed her progress, often stopping to ask how she was learning. Slowly but surely, Unji would reply, smiling. Her optimism became contagious, and soon others in her community began their own language learning journeys. Self-doubt fades when hope takes its place. Your determination can inspire others to dream. Through all the chaos, Unji realized that learning English wasn't just about mastering a language. It was about embracing life's imperfections. The mistakes she made while speaking didn't discourage her. They reminded her of how far she had come. She learned to laugh at herself, to find joy in the process, and to celebrate every small victory. Even with her family's needs taking priority, Unji never lost sight of her goal. She discovered that the greatest lessons often come from life's hardest moments. Her journey was not linear. It was messy, unpredictable, and beautiful. And through it all, she held on to one simple truth. Progress is progress, no matter how small. Progress isn't perfect. It's messy, beautiful, and real. Life's challenges are the best teachers of all. Dr. Unji's story is a reminder that learning, like life, happens in the middle of chaos. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about finding joy and purpose in every step. For Unji, every challenge became an opportunity, and every opportunity became a step toward her dream of fluency. Her journey shows us that even in life's busiest, most unpredictable seasons, growth is always possible if we choose to embrace it. Chapter 5. Mastering Pronunciation and Fluency. Dr. Unji Kim's journey to mastering English pronunciation and fluency was filled with determination, creativity, and moments of unexpected joy. For someone who had spent years avoiding conversations in English, the thought of speaking fluently seemed like an unreachable dream. But she soon discovered that fluency wasn't about being perfect. It was about being understood, confident, and willing to grow. Unji began her pronunciation journey with the simplest of tools, repetition. Every morning, she stood in front of a mirror, repeating common phrases like, "How are you?" and "Nice to meet you." At first, the sounds felt unnatural, and her accent made her laugh. But rather than feeling discouraged, she embraced the process. Every mistake is a step forward, she told herself. Fluency begins with small, consistent steps every day. Mistakes are proof you're on the right path. One day, Unji stumbled upon a free online tool that played audio clips of words spoken by native speakers. She practiced tirelessly, mimicking the sounds until they felt familiar. She even recorded herself, comparing her pronunciation to the examples. At first, hearing her voice was awkward, but over time, she noticed progress. "I may not sound perfect, but I sound better," she thought, smiling. Shadowing became one of her favorite exercises. She would play a short clip from an English podcast or TV show, pause, and repeat what she heard. At first, She struggled to keep up with the speed of the speakers, but with practice, her rhythm improved. She loved imitating the expressions and tone of native speakers, turning each practice session into a fun performance. Shadowing is the secret to natural pronunciation. Listening is the first step to sounding fluent. Eunji also incorporated tongue twisters into her daily routine. She sells seashells by the seashore. She repeated, often tripping over the words and bursting into laughter. The challenge kept her motivated, and the playful nature of tongue twisters made practice enjoyable. Her grandchildren even joined in, turning it into a family game. To improve her fluency, Eunji read aloud every night. She started with simple children's books, then moved on to short stories and articles. At first, her reading was slow, but over time, her speed and confidence grew. She made it a habit to read a page aloud before bed, celebrating each time she completed a book. Reading aloud strengthens both pronunciation and confidence. Practice turns slow progress into unstoppable momentum. Eunji's community became an unexpected source of support. She joined a free online language exchange program, connecting with English learners from around the world. These conversations were often filled with laughter and mutual encouragement. "Don't worry about your accent," one partner told her. "It's part of who you are." Those words stayed with Eunji, reminding her that fluency didn't mean losing her identity. Her biggest breakthrough came when she started talking to herself in English throughout the day. While cooking, she would narrate her actions. "I am cutting vegetables. Now I am boiling water." It felt strange at first, but this simple practice helped her think in English, bridging the gap between learning and fluency. Talking to yourself is the best fluency exercise. Confidence grows when you practice without fear of judgment. Another method that brought her joy was singing. Eunji found English songs she loved and sang along with the lyrics. Her favorites were slow, emotional ballads that helped her focus on pronunciation and rhythm. Singing became a source of relaxation and a way to connect emotionally with the language. Fluency, Eunji realized, wasn't about sounding like a native speaker. It was about expressing herself clearly and confidently. She stopped chasing perfection and started embracing progress. When she made mistakes, she laughed them off and tried again. This mindset shift transformed her journey. Fluency is about connection, not perfection. Progress happens when you embrace and enjoy the process. By mastering pronunciation and fluency, Eunji unlocked new opportunities to connect with others. She no longer feared speaking English. Instead, she saw each conversation as a chance to grow. Her persistence and creativity turned what once seemed impossible into a reality. Dr. Eunji's story teaches us that fluency is within reach for anyone willing to take small, consistent steps. Whether through shadowing, singing, or simply talking to yourself, every effort brings you closer to your goal. Her journey reminds us that fluency isn't just about speaking. It's about finding the courage to use your voice. Fluency is courage in action. one word at a time. Every voice deserves to be heard. Start using yours today. Chapter 6. Using English to Build Relationships. For Dr. Eun-ji Kim, learning English was never just about career advancement. It was about connection. After years of living with the feeling that she was on the outside looking in, she discovered that speaking English wasn't just a skill. It was a bridge to new relationships, deeper bonds, and a richer life. Her husband, a retired engineer with a quiet demeanor, was her greatest supporter. Though he didn't speak English, he admired her dedication and often sat with her as she practiced. One evening, as Eun-ji read aloud from an English storybook, her husband leaned over and said, "You sound beautiful." Those simple words filled her heart with pride and gave her a renewed sense of purpose. Language is a bridge to deeper human connections. Support from loved ones can move mountains. Eun-ji also found that English opened new doors in her relationships with her grandchildren. As they grew up in a globalized world, they naturally spoke both Korean and English. Eun-ji wanted to connect with them on their level, to share stories and moments in their second language. She began practicing common phrases like, "How was your day?" and "Let's play together," and her grandchildren were thrilled. "Grandma speaks English now," they exclaimed, clapping their hands. These moments became cherished memories, strengthening the bond between generations. Learning a language can bring families closer together. Every effort in connection is worth the reward. One of Eun-ji's most emotional breakthroughs came during a visit to her daughter's workplace. Her daughter, a fluent English speaker, introduced Eun-ji to her colleagues, many of whom were non-Korean speakers. Eun-ji nervously greeted them in English, saying, "Hello, it's nice to meet you." Though her words were simple, the warmth and sincerity in her voice left a lasting impression. "Your mother is amazing," one colleague told her daughter, and for the first time, Eun-ji felt proud of her progress. Even small conversations can leave a big impact. Language is about sharing yourself with others. As Eun-ji's confidence grew, so did her willingness to reach out to others. She joined an online English speaking group, where she met people from all over the world. They shared stories about their cultures, their struggles, and their dreams. One man from Canada became a close friend, often exchanging emails and video calls with her. He was fascinated by her life as a scientist, while she enjoyed hearing about his adventures traveling. These friendships reminded Eun-ji that English wasn't just a tool for communication. It was a way to connect on a human level, to understand and be understood. Friendship knows no boundaries, not even language. New connections can bring joy and perspective. Her most touching relationship, however, was with her husband. For years, their conversations had been limited to their native Korean. But as Eun-ji grew more fluent, she began teaching him simple English phrases. Together, they laughed over pronunciation mishaps and celebrated when he successfully said, "Good morning," or "I love you" in English. One day, as they sat in their garden, her husband surprised her by saying, "You are my inspiration." Though his accent was heavy, his words were clear, and Unji's eyes filled with tears. Learning English had not only strengthened her confidence, but deepened the love and understanding they shared. Language can rekindle love and deepen relationships. The most beautiful words are spoken from the heart. Unji also used her newfound skills to mentor younger scientists. She encouraged them to practice English and shared her journey, showing them that it's never too late to learn. Her story inspired many to push past their fears and embrace the challenge of learning a new language. Through her relationships, Unji realized that English wasn't just about mastering grammar or vocabulary. It was about using her voice to build bridges, share her heart, and create moments of connection. Her journey showed her and those around her that language is a tool for love, friendship, and understanding. Language isn't just words. It's the expression of the soul. Connections made through language can last a lifetime. Dr. Unji's story reminds us that learning a language is about more than fluency. It's about connection. Whether with family, friends, or strangers, the effort to communicate can transform relationships and bring people closer together. Her journey proves that it's never too late to use your voice to create meaningful connections. Your voice has the power to connect hearts. It's never too late to build new bridges. Chapter 7. The Final Breakthrough and Life Today. At the age of 65, Dr. Unji Kim stood on a stage in front of an international audience. Her heart raced as she adjusted the microphone, looking out at the faces of scientists from around the world. For years, this moment had been a dream, one she thought she could never achieve. But now here she was, ready to present her groundbreaking research in English. She took a deep breath, smiled, and began, "Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Unji Kim, and today I am honored to share my findings with you." Her voice was steady, her words clear. Every sentence she spoke represented years of perseverance, countless hours of practice, and a deep belief in her ability to grow. Courage is stepping forward even when fear remains. Every word spoken is a victory over doubt. The presentation went better than Unji could have hoped. She answered questions confidently, shared her insights with clarity, and most importantly, felt heard. As the audience applauded, tears welled up in her eyes. This was more than just a professional milestone. It was a testament to her resilience and the power of never giving up. Your moment of triumph is worth the wait. Success feels sweeter after a long journey. After the conference, colleagues from different countries approached Unji, eager to discuss her work. For the first time, she felt like a true part of the global scientific community. She exchanged ideas, formed collaborations, and even made plans to co-author a paper. These were opportunities she had only dreamed of before learning English. Her journey didn't just transform her career, it transformed her life. Back at home, Unji found joy in the little moments, reading bedtime stories to her grandchildren in English, teaching her husband new phrases, and watching English language documentaries about the latest scientific advancements. Every aspect of her life was richer, fuller, and more connected. Language opens doors to a world of possibilities. Small steps create life-changing opportunities. Eunji also became a source of inspiration in her community. Younger scientists and language learners often sought her advice. "How did you do it?" they would ask. Her response was always the same: "I took it one day at a time." You don't need to be perfect, you just need to start. She began mentoring others, organizing free workshops to share her methods and tools. Whether it was helping a teenager prepare for a job interview or encouraging an elderly neighbor to start learning English, Eunji found joy in seeing others take their first steps toward achieving their goals. Helping others succeed multiplies your own success. Your story can inspire others to begin theirs. Her relationship with her husband deepened in ways she hadn't imagined. They often spent evenings watching movies in English, laughing over the subtitles, and learning together. "You're my hero," he told her one night. Eunji laughed, but his words touched her deeply. Learning English had not only given her a voice, it had strengthened the love and connection in her family. Love grows when we learn and grow together. The best journeys are shared with loved ones. Today, Eunji lives a life she once thought was impossible. She no longer fears speaking English, whether it's at an international conference, a local gathering, or with her grandchildren. She has proven to herself and to others that age, circumstances, and challenges are no match for determination. Her story is a reminder that it's never too late to chase a dream, no matter how impossible it may seem. The barriers we face are often just stepping stones to a greater future. Eunji's final breakthrough wasn't just about mastering English. It was about reclaiming her voice, her confidence, and her ability to connect with the world. It's never too late to rewrite your story. Every effort brings you closer to your dreams. Dr. Eunji Kim's journey is a testament to the power of perseverance, resourcefulness, and belief in oneself. Her story inspires us to embrace challenges, celebrate progress, and remember that no dream is out of reach. Your story isn't over. Take the next step today. Dreams come true when you refuse to give up. Encourage viewers to like, comment, and subscribe for more inspirational stories and practical tips to improve their English. Mention free downloadable resources linked in the description to help them start their own step-by-step reader journey. And in our next video, you'll see the story of Emma and Luca, two strangers from different worlds whose accidental encounter while learning English sparks a journey of growth, connection, and unexpected opportunities that change their lives forever.